Namaskaram and welcome to the Prabandhams and Stotrams class. We've had a very long break. I hope I still remember how to teach. I'm sorry about that long break. So today we will try to complete the padiyam kaNNinuN siruttAmbu by Sri madhurakavi AzhvAr. And then after a brief pause, when we try to switch the slide set, we will go on to another padiyam. So let's get started. So as usual, we will start by reciting the pAsuram and also the taniyans that are specific to this padiyam. And then normally we would recite all the pasurams that we have learned. Since we are just about only one pasuram away from finishing this whole padiyam, what we will do is we will defer until the end of this particular class the recital, the chanting of the pasuram. So we'll just do the pAsuram and the taniyans that are specific to kaNNinuN siruttAmbu now. Recording is already started. So I'm going to do the pAsuram. So you can chant along with me while keeping yourself muted. Ramanujadaya patram jnana vairagya bhushanam Srimad Venkatanatharyam Vande Vedanta Deshikam Shri Shailesha Daya Patram Hi Bhaktyadi Gunarnavam Yatindra Pranavam Vande Ramyaja Mataram Munim Lakshmi Natha Samarambham Nathayamuna Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Yo Nityamachyuta Padam Bhujayugma Rukma Vyamohatastaditarani Trinaya Mene Asmad Gurur Bhagavatosya Dayaika Sindho Ramanujasya Charanau Sharanam Prapadye Mata Pita Yuvatayastanaya Vibhuti Sarvam Yadeva Niyamena Madanvayanam Ahadyasya Nahkula Paterva Kulabhiramam Srimad Tadangri Yugalam Pranamami Murdna Bhutam Sarasya Mahadakvaya Bhattanata Shri Bhakti Sarakula Shekhara Yogi Vahan Bhaktangri Renu Parakala Yatindra Mishran Srimad Parankusha Munim Pranatosmi Nityam Avidita Vishayantara Shathare Upanishadam Upagana Matra Bhogaha Apicha Gunavashat Tadeka Sheshi Madhurakavir Hridaye Mama Virastu Verunrum Nanariyen Vedam Tamil Seida Maran Shatakopan Vankurugur Erengal Varvam Endretum Madhurakaviar Emmayalvar Avare Aran. Okay, so those are the taniyans, and like I said, we will chant the pasurams after I'm done with the remaining ones. So let me get to the slide where I want to start today. Okay, so the last time we learned pasuram number 10, Payananragilum, Pangalaragilum, Sayalanraha, Tirithippanigolvan, Kuil Nindrar, Polsul, Kuruhur Nambi, Muelhindren, Mundan, Vaigarat Kanbaye. We saw the meaning of this pasuram. We also learned how to chant it. So the only thing that remains to be done is to elaborate on this pasuram by referring to what Nammarvar, Sri Nammarvar, the Acharyan, may have said on the same subject. So let me refresh your memory about this particular pasuram. So in this pasuram, Sri madhurakavi AzhvAr talks about his gratitude to his Acharyan, Sri Nammarvar, and how much he owes him. So he essentially says something like, that your glory is so much that I cannot really do justice to it. I would like my love to match the outstanding glory of your feet, but it's just not possible to make that happen. I'm trying very hard to make that happen, but I doubt that I can do so simply because your glory is so great and cannot be matched. It's kind of like Saint Tyagaraja saying in one of his kritis in Todi, Dasharathe ni runamudirpa na tharamam. Dasharathe, or Dasharathanen Putranagi Sri Ramane, நீ ருணமு தீர்ப்ப உன்னுடைய நன்றி கடனை தீர்க்க நான் தரமா என்னால் எங்கேயாவது முடியுமா? Is it ever possible for me to repay your debt? So Sri madhurakavi AzhvAr is in a similar situation as well. So here he talks about his Acharyan. So the he here refers to Sri Nammarvar. He says that Sri Nammarvar is selfless and filled with infinite mercy. And even if it is of no use to him, or even if his sishyas are unworthy, he embraces their service and reforms them until their actions become exemplary. In other words, he doesn't get anything out of it himself, but he does it mainly to save them. And then, so up until this point, he talks in third person. He talks about his Acharyan in third person. He uses the word he. But then suddenly he turns to second person and addresses his Acharyan directly, and he says, "O Nambi of Kuruhur, which is surrounded by flower gardens in which koils abound, Kuyil Nindrar, Pudilsur, Kuruhur Nambi, I want my love toward your holy feet to match their outstanding glory, and I'm trying hard to make that happen." Muyal Hindrain, so he says almost helplessly, I'm trying very, very hard. Undan moigarattu anbaye. So I want to make my love toward your holy feet match their outstanding glory. So it's the gratitude that he is talking about. And okay, and he's also, the main message is that he's talking about how the Acharyan reforms his sishyas. So the word tirutti is important here, because the example that we will see when elaborating on this pasuram is about how Sri Nammarvar says the same thing about how Emperuman has reformed him. The same way that Nammarvar has reformed his sishyas, Emperuman has reformed Sri Nammarvar. So that's what he's going to say. So one of the things that we have been doing consistently is that whenever we learn a pasuram of Sri madhurakavi AzhvAr, we also try to look for a similar pasuram from his Acharyan, from Sri Nammarvar, so that whatever madhurakavi AzhvAr says about his Acharyan, namely Nammarvar, we want to see whether Nammarvar has said something similar about Emperuman. Okay, so here the thing that madhurakavi AzhvAr says is that his Acharyan reforms his sishyas. So we will see what Sri Nammarvar says about Emperuman. So he says, the phrase that I'm going to elaborate on is Tirutti Panigolvan. So reforming the sishyas, Panigolvan, he accepts their service. Okay, so it's the reforming that we are looking for as an analogous thing in Tiruvaimari. So we do find one such pasuram in Tiruvaimari 274. So there he says, and you can see the word Tirutti or reforming appearing there. So he says, Nammarvar says, Govindan Kodakkutan Kovalan Endrendre Kunittu. So what he's saying is that he, that is Emperuman, he made me chant various names of his. What are the various names that he made Sri Nammarvar chant? Govinda, O Govinda. Kodakkutan, O pot balancing dancer. So Krishna avataram is the favorite avataram of Sri Nammarvar. So Krishna is supposed to be very good at this Kodakkutu. Kodakkutu is balancing pots of water on his head and dancing with those pots still on his head. So, oh, pot balancing dancer, Kodakkutan. Kovalan. So Kovalan is actually a Tamirized form of Gopalan. So the Gopalan means the one who protects the cow herds, the one who protects the cows, okay, the cow herd. So those are the names: Govinda, O pot balancing dancer, O Gopala, Endri Endres, and so with several other names of this sort, and Kunithu. So he made me chant. So the Kunithu in this case, he means he made me chant. Devum Tannayum Padi Ada Tirutti. So what he did was, he reformed me. So Tirutti here means he reformed me to Padi Ada, to sing and dance, praising his two things. So he says, one moment. So he says, Devum Tannayum Padi Ada Tirutti. So this expression is very interesting. The expression used by Nammalvar, Devum Tannayum. So he talks about Emperuman as if he is two different persons. One is he is the Devan. So in other words, he talks about one Emperuman's key guna called Paratvam. Paratvam means he is supreme. He is better than anyone else. He's so high up, you can put him on the highest pedestal that you can find. So that Paratvam is what he refers to by this Devam. And then he also talks about another aspect of Emperuman, which is called, so it refers to that as Tannayam. So Tannayam is that the very humble form of him, so that simplicity. So Saulabhyam, that's the word that people use to refer to that gunam. So these are more or less two contradictory gunas of Emperuman. On the one hand, he's so high up, he's so supreme, you cannot possibly access him. He's inaccessible. There's nothing that is even comparable to him. But at the same time, despite being that high, he actually has Saulabhyam and Saushiliam. So they so-called Saushiliam. That is, with Adiyars, he doesn't try to show off that he is higher than them. He wants to make the Adiyars feel that the Emperuman is their peer. So this Tannayum refers to that aspect of Emperuman, the simplicity aspect, the one where he makes us feel that he is one of us. Okay, so these two are two different aspects of Emperuman, Paratvam, and either Saulabhyam and / Saushiliam, Padi Ada Tirutti. So he essentially says, he reformed me to sing and dance, praising his supremacy and simplicity. So he made me praise both of those. So this is the part that is similar to what madhurakavi AzhvAr was referring to in his pAsuram. And then Ennai Kondu. The Ennai Kondu means Ennai Aatkondan. He took me as his servant, and he took me as his servant. Yen Pavam Tannayum Parakkaithu. So Parakkaithu means he repelled all of my sins. Ennudaya Pavangal Ellavatrayum Avan Pokkadithan. So he repelled all of my sins. Emar Pirappun. So he says Emar. So Emar means Emmudaya Kulattinar. That is the people who belong to my group. Who are the people that belongs to my group? Is he referring to one of the varnas, one of the four varnas? No, not really. The Emar refers to the particular group called Adiyars or Bhagavata. So Emar Pirappum Mevum Tanmayum Akinan. So Pirappum. So Pirappum is kind of like a proxy for forever. You remember in Tirupavai, Etrekkum Piravikkum Mundannodu Utromeyavom Umakke Nam Atsevam. So that Etrekkum Piravikkum. So that's a way of saying forever and ever. So Emar Pirappum. So Em Kulattavarai, forever in the future. Mevum Tanmayam Akinan. So Mevum here means surrender. Kannidam, so he made us surrender to him. Tanmayam Akinan. So he repelled all my sins, and he made all of us Bhagavatas forever surrender to him. That is, Mevum means to surrender. Tanmayam, Avanidam, Sharanagati Adayumbadi Panninan, Akinan. Vallan. So Vallan means the great one. Empiran. So Empiran in this case refers to, of course, Emperuman. And then he says Vittuve. Vittuve is a summarized form of Vishnuve. Okay, Vishnu is one of the names of Emperuman. It's one of the Sahasranamams of Emperuman. In fact, this particular Padigam, this 2.7 Padigam in Thiruvaimozhi, it's called the Panniru Nama Pattu. So it celebrates 12 different namas of Emperuman, and one of those namas, so each verse talks about one famous, glorious name of Emperuman. And this particular pasuram, this pasuram number 4 in that padigam, talks about that glorious name called Vishnu. Okay, so again, the bottom line is that whatever Madhurakavi AzhvAr says about his Acharyan has said that about Emperuman. And so that's the context in which we have looked at a lot of Thiruvaimari Pasuram. So one of the beautiful things about, one of the interesting things that we have done about going through this padigam of Madhurakavi AzhvAr is that it has also given us an exposure to a lot of pasurams from Thiruvaimari, because we have always looked for comparable pasurams that his Acharyan, Madhurakavi AzhvAr's Acharyan, wrote. And therefore, in that process, we have learned more than 10 pasurams from Thiruvaimari itself. Okay, so that's good. And then this is something that we have seen already. So this is a poetic version of the meaning. So he says, Payanan Ragilum, Pangalla Ragilum, be it useful or not, he cares not. Be they worthy or not, he cares not. That's the Pangalla Ragilum part. And then, and until they are fully reformed, that's a Sayanan Raga Tirutti, their fine service entirely embraced. So he's Panigurvan, he took them as his servant. In Kurugur, where koels abound, in the gardens superb that surround, so that is Kuyal Nindrar, Purusur Kurugur, to thy glorious feet, O Nambi, with my love to do justice, I'll try. In other words, I will try to do justice with my love to thy glorious feet, O Nambi. Muelginrain, Nambi, Muelginrain, Undan Muikaraka Anbaye. So he says that almost with despair, saying, I don't know if I will ever succeed. And in fact, he more or less implies that he's not going to be able to succeed because the glory of his Acharyan's feet is simply unmatchable. Okay, so that is the 10th pasuram, and this is a pasuram that would be repeated twice, that would be chanted twice when we chant the padigam. And now we get to the Palashruti pasuram. This is the last pasuram of this padigam. And let me read the pasuram first, and then also the bottom line message here. So the bottom line message, remember that this is a Palashruti pasuram. It tells you what benefit accrues to those who chant this padigam. So it says, Vaikuntham awaits those who believe in this padigam. Now, what does it mean to say who believes in this padigam? So that essentially means, so all those who believe that this padigam of Sri Madhurakavi AzhvAr embodies the Vaishnavite principles. So all the people who believe in that and then chant this padigam, for them, certainly Vaikuntham awaits them. What specific Vaishnavite philosophy does he talk about here? So the philosophy that he talks about here is called Acharya Nishtai. So Acharya Nishtai, I'll talk about that more when I summarize. We have talked about it already in the introductory part, but I'll just refresh your memory about that when I summarize this whole padigam. So the particular pasuram says, Anban Thannai Adaindavargatkellam, Anban Tengurur Nagar Nambikku, Anbanai Madhurakavi Sonnasol, Nambuvar Padi Vaikuntham Kanvine. This is a beautiful pasuram because Madhurakavi AzhvAr uses the word Anban 3 times. So you can see that the beginning of the first 3 lines is the word Anban. But those Anbans, so Anbu, of course, it means love or devotion. So, so love or devotion. But these 3 Anbans refer to 3 different people. So the first Anban refers to Emperuman. The second Anban refers to the Acharyan, which is Sri Nammarvar. And the third Anban refers to Madhurakavi AzhvAr. So you will see that when I go through the meaning of this particular pasuram. But let's go through the summary meaning. So he starts by saying that Emperuman loves everyone. Emperuman loves all the Bhagavatas. And my Acharyan, that is Sri Nammarvar, is devoted to those who have surrendered to him, who have surrendered to this Emperuman, to that Anban. And to that Nambi of South Kurugur, namely to Sri Nammarvar, I, Madhurakavi, am a great devotee. So you can see a chain forming here. So he says, I am Madhurakavi AzhvAr. I am a devotee of my Acharyan, Sri Nammarvar. And he himself is a devotee of Emperuman, who loves all the Bhagavatas. Okay? And then he says, those who believe that this Prabandham it refers to this particular Padigam, because the whole Padigam that constitutes a Prabandham by itself, that's all Madhurakavi AzhvAr has written. So those who believe that the Prabandham this Madhurakavi composed embodies our Sri Vaishnavite aspirations. So the aspirations are to, of course, achieve moksha, in this case by doing service to the Acharyan, and believing in Acharyan as the sole means of reaching that moksha. So to those who believe in that Prabandham, those who believe that Madhurakavi, this Prabandham of Madhurakavi embodies our Sri Vaishnavite aspirations, their abode will be Vaikuntham for sure. And then he says, know ye. Also, all of you, please note that. Okay. Okay, so let's go through the meaning. Anban Thannai. So I said the first Anban refers to Emperuman. So what he says here is that Emperuman is an Anban. What does that mean? Anbu means love. As I said, he loves all of his devotees. Okay. Now, so I think, because there are many, many places in Divya Prabandham and other Deshika Stotrams where you would know this, that he loves all of his devotees. Let me briefly remind you of something that we learned in Bhagavad Dhyana Sopanam. I don't have it written down here, but you will remember it. So, for example, it said, Sabhipraya smita vikasitam charubimbadharostam dukkhavaya pranayini jane duradatabhimutyam sabhipraya smita vikasitam. So what he says is, this is to establish the fact that he is an Anban. So the Swami Deshikan says his face, that is, he's talking about Sri Rangam Perumal, his face blooms with a meaningful, benevolent smile for his Bhagavata. Sabhipraya smita vikasitam char bimbadharostam. So that, of course, that part, char bimbadharostam, that means that his lips, both the upper and lower lips, are red like the kovai fruit. And then the next line is a dukkhavaya pranayini jane duradatthabhimukyam. When Bhagavatas who want their distress to go away approach him, he gives them his compassionate kataksham even when they are far away. So duradatthabhimukyam. Dura means far away. Datta means, so he gives abhimukyam. So that kataksham, that blessing, that compassionate blessing he gives them. So he is an Anban because he cares so much about his Bhagavatas, and that's the reason we call him. That's the reason that Madhurakavi AzhvAr refers to him as Anban. So Anban Thannai, that Emperuman whom he refers to as Anban, Avanai Adaindavargatkellam. So all the Bhagavatas who have surrendered to that Anban, to that Emperuman, Avargalukkellam Anban. So to all of them, my Acharyan is a devotee. So you see that this Anban here refers to the Acharyan, Sri Nammarva. So he essentially makes the statement that my Acharyan is a devotee of all of those who have surrendered to the first Anban that I talked about, which is Emperuman. So Adaindavargatkellam Anban. So you can see here, Emperuman loves everyone. That is the Anban Thannai. Adaindavargatkellam Anban. He, Nammarva, is devoted to those who have surrendered to him. Okay. This Tenguruhur Nagar Nambikki Anbana. So that Acharyan, who is that second, the Anban that was referred to here, he is that Ten Kuruhur, that the Kuruhur in the south. Kuruhur refers to the place AzhvAr Tirunagari, the Avatara Sthalam of Sri Nammarvar. Ten Kuruhur, the AzhvAr Tirunagari, which is in the south of Tamil Nadu. Nagar Nambikke, so the Nambi. Nambi, remember, is a word that will be used very many times in Prabandhams, and it's a part of the Vaishnava Paribhasha. So Nambi means one who has all the Kalyana Gunas, who is complete in all the Kalyana Gunas. So he says here that he has all the Kalyana Gunas, all the auspicious qualities, and that's what his Acharyan is. So Tenguruhur Nagar Nambikku Anban. So now you can see that Acharyanukku Anban. So that, of course, refers to Madhurakavi AzhvAr. Madhurakavi AzhvAr, he says, I am devoted to that Acharyan who is devoted to those Adiyars who are devoted to Emperuman. So you can see that there's a chain that he talks about here. So Nagar Nambikku Anbanai. So now he's talking about himself. That Madhurakavi Chonna Sol So that madhurakavi, namely I, sonna sol, the words that I spoke in this prabandham, nambuva, those who believe in it, which means that those who believe that these verses, these pasurams reflect the Vaishnavite, Sri Vaishnavite aspirations, particularly of Acharya Nishtai. Those were people, and also obviously if they believe in it, they will have to chant this padigam, Vaikuntham kaNNinuN. So that they will see Vaikuntham, that is that their abode will be Vaikuntham for sure. kaNNinuN means see this, know ye all. So that's effectively what that kaNNinuN means. Okay, so that's the meaning of this pasuram. It's a very simple Phalashruti. Vaikuntham awaits those who believe in this padigam. Okay, so that with that we conclude the meaning of this whole padigam. Now let me elaborate on this to see whether Sri Nammalvar has talked about any aspect of this particular pasuram himself. So in this case, Madhurakavi says, Anban Thannai Adaindavargatkallam Anban. So he says that his Acharyan is devoted to all the Bhagavatas who are devoted to Emperuman. Does Nammalvar himself say anything about that aspect, that he is devoted to all the devotees of Emperuman? So, and the answer is, he says that in many, many places. So if there's one particular pasuram that I have chosen, in Thiruvaimuri 3.7, the first pasuram says something like, Payilum Sudaroli Murthiye. Remember that what we are trying to show is that Nammalvar himself makes that statement, that he is devoted to all those who are devoted to Emperuman. Okay, so that's more or less a corroboration of what Madhurakavi AzhvAr said in his Phalashruti Pasuram. Payilum Sudaru Oli Murthiye, Pangaya kaNNinuN, Payila Iniya Nam Parkadal சேர்ந்த Paramanai, Payilum Tirudayar Evarelum Avargandir, Payilum Pirappudaithorum, Emmai Aadum Paramare. It's a very beautiful pasuram. You can see the mastery of Sri Nammalvar in his word usage. For example, the word Payilum, Payila, Payilum, Payilum, etc. And sometimes with different meanings. So he has been very good about using that word multiple times, and sometimes with multiple meanings. So here he says, Payilum Sudaru Oli Murthiye. So this first Payilum means densely effulgent, Sudar Oli. So the densely effulgent one who has the Divya Mangala form. Murti, of course, means form. So he now says that densely effulgent one who has the Divya Mangala form. Who is that? Of course, that's Emperuman. So he's referring to Emperuman, and he's referring to him in various ways. So that's one reference to him. And then he also refers to him as Pangaya kaNNinuN. Pangaya is a Tamilized version of Pankajam. Pankaja kaNNinuN. So the one who has the lotus eyes, the one with lotus eyes. Then now another Payila here. Payila Iniya. Payila, this Payila means to experience. So he is so sweet to experience. That is, experiencing him is such a very sweet experience. So the one that is so sweet to experience, namely, for example, doing Nama Sankirtanam or talking about him, etc., that is a very sweet experience. So the one that is so sweet to experience, Payila Iniya. And then another description of him, Nam Parkadal சேர்ந்த Paraman. Paraman means that supreme being. Parkadal சேர்ந்த, the one who resides in the ocean of milk. Avanai Payilum Tirudayar. Avanai Payilum here means who enjoy. So Avanai Payilum, those who enjoy that Emperuman, who enjoy that wealth, that is, who have that wealth of enjoying Emperuman. So the Tiru here refers to wealth. What wealth is he referring to? The wealth of enjoying Emperuman. So the Paramanai Payilum Tirudayar. So all those who have that wealth of enjoying him, Evarelam, and the Madri Evar Irundalum, Avar Kandir. So that person you see, Evarelum, Avar Kandir. So if there is any such person, that person you see, Payilum Pirappudaithorum. Okay, Payilum Pirappudaithorum means Uburu Pirappilum. So in all the recurring births, Payilum here now means recurring. So Payilum Pirappudaithorum, in all the recurring births, Melum Melum Varihinra Pirappukal Ellavatrilum, so that the people who have that wealth of experiencing or of enjoying Emperuman, so obviously he's referring to Bhagavatas. And he says, those are Emmai Alum Paramare. So those Bhagavatas, Emmai Alum, they rule me. So they are masters who will rule me. That's what he says. So he says that anyone who is a Bhagavata of Emperuman, who has that wealth of enjoying the Emperuman, and then the Emperuman is described in various ways here, that person, that Bhagavata, he is a master of mine. I am a servant of his. So you see, he does say that he is devoted to those who are devoted to Emperuman. Okay. There's also another famous pasuram from Tiruvaimuri, which is very beautiful. And there he goes on to say, give a great long chain. So he says, I am an adiyar of the adiyar of adiyar of adiyar of adiyar of adiyar, etc. So the actual lines of that verse would be adiyar, adiyardam, adiyar, adiyar, damakku, adiyar, adiyardam, adiyar, adiyongave. So if you count the number of words, number of times the word adiyar occurs there, it will be something like 7 or 8 levels. So he essentially says, I'm not just adiyar of an adiyar, I'm adiyar of an adiyar of an adiyar of an adiyar of an adiyar, etc. And of course, the reason he stopped at 7 or 8 is that that's all he had space for in those 2 lines of the Tiruvaimuri Pasuram. Okay, so Nammalvar has said multiple times that he is greatly devoted to those people who are devoted to Emperuman. Okay. Okay. Now, in this Pasuram of Madhurakavi AzhvAr, there's also a phrase which says, those who believe in what Madhurakavi has said. Madhurakavi Sonna Sol Nambuvar, it says here. Okay. Now, what is that believing in aspect? What aspect is he talking about? So he says he's talking about those who believe in Acharya Nishtai exposed here. Again, Acharya Nishtai means depending entirely on the Acharyan for your salvation. So in Prapatti, there are various ways of doing Prapatti, and one of the ways of doing Prapatti is this Acharya Nishtai. There are actually 4 ways of doing Prapatti. Acharya Nishtai is one of them. I'll briefly talk about the other 3 when I summarize this whole padiham on the next slide. So here he says, those who believe in the Acharya Nishtai that is espoused here, they will certainly see Vaikuntham. That's what he says. Now, I want to give an example of this Acharya Nishtai that is referred to in Swami Deshikan's stotram called Sharanagati Deepikas. Swami Deshikan has written several stotrams about Sharanagati. You know, the Sharanagati, he's got a stotram called Nyasa Dashakam, Nyasa Vimsati, Nyasa Tilakam, Sharanagati Deepika, etc. So I'm taking one particular verse from one of those stotrams. The stotram is called Sharanagati Deepika. It's more or less a Mangala Shasanam of the Perumal in the Stalam of Tiruttanka, which is the Avatara Stalam of Swami Deshikan. The Perumal there is known as Deepa Prakasam or Vilakkuli Emperumal. So he gives a very beautiful analogy there. So the analogy he gives is this. You remember a typical Hindu wedding. So in the typical Hindu wedding, there is a ritual called Kannika Danam. So in Kannika Danam, the father of the bride gives the bride away to the groom. Okay. And so Swami Deshikan compares that situation with that of an Acharyan giving his Shishya away to Emperuman as his disciple. Okay, so he says that when a father does Kannika Danam to a groom, that groom accepts that gift very gratefully, and he enjoys that gift, and appreciates that gift. And so the groom gives her all the comforts, and then he enjoys her fellowship, etc. And she, in turn, treasures the Mangalya Sutra, which is an important indicator of that relationship. So he says here, when a father gives his daughter away in Kannika Danam, the groom accepts her happily, gives her all comforts, enjoys her fellowship, and she, in turn, treasures the Mangalya Sutra. And in a similar way, when an Acharyan gives his disciple away to Emperuman, in much the same way as in a Kannika Danam, the Emperuman will do exactly what the groom is supposed to do. Likewise, when an Acharyan gives a Chetana means any Jivatma, away to Emperuman. So this is as part of Acharya Nishtai. So so the Acharya now does a representation on behalf of the Chetana, on behalf of the Shishya or the Jivatma. So when the Acharyan gives that Chetana away to Emperuman, Emperuman too accepts him with pleasure, the same way that the groom accepts the bride with pleasure and gives the Chetana bliss. And the Chetana is in a happy relationship, doing kainkaryams to him and other Bhagavatas. So that's exactly what this particular slokam is saying. It says, Dattah praja janakavat tavadeशिकेन्द्रैः patyabhinandya bhavata pariniyamanaha madhye satam mahita bhoga vishesha siddhyai mangalya sutramiva vibhrati kinkaratvam. So what it means is, so he says here, so the datta, okay, praja of course means a subject, in this case the chetanas. So the chetanas who were datta of course is to give, who were given away, samarpikapatta chetanargal, the praja who were given away, who were offered in the kaNNinuN or in the Acharya Nishtai, tava, look at to you, to Emperuman. So they are like Janaka. So he says here, Janakavat Deshikendraihi. Janakavat means the Tandaimargalai Pondra. That is, they are like fathers, and Deshikendrai means they are the Acharyas. Okay, so the great Acharyas who, like fathers, give away the Chetanas to you. So this is talking about that. And then when that happens, he says, Abhinandhya pariniyamanaha. Abhinandhya means with great rejoicement. Pariniyamanaha. Pariniyamanaha means accepted by you. So he says, when the Acharyan does that, then that gift is accepted and celebrated by you with great rejoicement. And of course, that's what Acharya Nishta is. So in this slokam, of course, more or less, Swami Deshikan says he doesn't believe in registered marriages. He says that the one that he really can relate to is the one that has kaNNinuN in it, and the Acharya Nishtai is very much like the kaNNinuN. Okay, so that madhurakavi chonna sol nambuvar. So that if there is any one principle that stands out from this padigam, it is that Acharya Nishtai principle of the Sri Vaishnavite philosophy. Of course, madhurakavi is probably the most memorable exemplifier of that Vaishnavite philosophy. But I've already talked about other cases before him which also represent Acharya Nishtai. For example, the four Rakshasas who surrendered along with Vibhishana, they never made any representation directly to Rama for his acceptance. So it was when Vibhishana was accepted, then the four Rakshasas who came with him were automatically accepted. And similarly, we also talked about Shabari Moksham in Sri Ramayanam, also being an example of Acharya Nishtai. Shabari got her moksham not because she happened to meet Sri Rama, but she got it on the strength of her service to all the rishis. So in that sense, that is also an instance of Acharya Nishtai. Okay, so that concludes our discussion of the 11th padigam, 11th pasuram rather, and this is the poetic meaning. So, and that Lord in the sky, he loves all. That's the Anbantanai, referring to Emperuman. And to those who surrender to him, he's so dear. So unto those who surrender to him, he's so dear. Arindavargatkalam Anban. He's so dear, that great Nambi who lives in Kurugur of fame in the south. So then Kurugur Nagar Nambike. And to him so devoted this bard. So avarukku anbanai the madhurakavi irukkinrar. So it says this madhurakavi has composed a prabandham by which those who swear will be granted Vaikuntham for sure. Madhurakavi chonna sol nambuvar padi Vaikuntham karmine. Okay. And generally after this 11th pasuram is chanted twice. So this is a repeated pasuram. It is customary to return and finish with pasuram number 1. Okay, so let's chant it. So I will chant each phrase, and then you can chant after me, and then we'll chant the whole pasuram. Okay, and then I'll summarize this padigam. Anbantanai, anbantanai, அடைந்தவர்கட்கெல்லாம் அன்பன் அடைந்தவர்கட்கெல்லாம் அன்பன் தென்குருகூர் நகர் நம்பிக்கு அன்பனாய் மதுரகவி சொன்ன சொல் நம்புவார்பதி வைகுந்தம் காண்மினே Okay, now you can say this whole pasuram along with me. அன்பன் தன்னை அடைந்தவர்கட்கெல்லாம் அன்பன் தென்குருகூர் நகர் நம்பிக்கு அன்பனாய் மதுரகவி சொன்ன சொல் நம்புவார்பதி வைகுந்தம் காண்மினே. So this is a pasuram that will be chanted twice, and then you'll go back to the first pasuram and finish. So what we will do is we will chant all the pasurams together, but after I summarize this whole padiyam, okay? So here's the summary. So my conclusion of this Prabandham as well as the padiyam of Sri Madhurakavi AzhvAr. This is a very unique padiyam. Like I said, this is the only pad. So first of all, this padiyam, its glory is that this padiyam that helped recover the Divya Prabandhams. So remember that Sri Nathamuni, at the time of Sri Nathamuni, this Divya Prabandhams had been lost, and he's the one who recovered them. And the way he recovered them was to go to AzhvAr Tirunagari. He met one of the descendants of Madhurakavi AzhvAr, and that person said, well, if you chant Madhurakavi AzhvAr's padiyam 12,000 times, then something good will happen. And of course, that's what Sri Nathamuni did. And then Sri Nammarvar appeared in front of him, and he not only gave the 1,000 pasurams that Nathamuni thought were missing, he actually gave him 4,000 pasurams, all the 4,000 pasurams of Nalayana Divya Prabandham. So in that sense, the thing that was most instrumental in recovering the Divya Prabandhams was this padiyam of Madhurakavi AzhvAr that was chanted 12,000 times by Sri Nathamuni. So that's one of the reasons that this is considered as part of Nalayana Divya Prabandham itself. Remember that normally the Divya Prabandham verses are in praise of Emperuman. And if you look at this particular Prabandham, the kaNNinuN siruttAmbu Prabandham, this is not about the glory of Emperuman. It's about the glory of the Acharyan. In fact, Madhurakavi AzhvAr says repeatedly that he doesn't care about Emperuman. Okay, so in that sense, why was something like this that's almost disparaging on the surface? Why was something like that included in the Nalayana Divya Prabandham? Well, among other things, because this padiyam helped recover the Divya Prabandhams. And of course, also another reason is that it is a very excellent demonstration of this principle of Acharya Nishtai that I'll come to in a moment. So the very first thing that you should remember about this padiyam, this Prabandham, is that it helped recover the Divya Prabandhams. And then also the true Sri Vaishnavism is demonstrated by the relationship between Sri Madhurakavi AzhvAr and Sri Nammarvar. There are two aspects here that I want you to think about. One is look at the varnams of these two people. Madhurakavi AzhvAr belonged to the first varnam, he was a Brahmin, and Sri Nammarvar belonged to the fourth varnam. And which of them was the Acharyan? The one who belonged to the fourth varnam was the Acharyan. So you see that there is no such thing as one varnam being superior to another varnam in Sri Vaishnavism. All the Bhagavatas are equal. So that's one of the key tenets of Sri Vaishnavism. And the other thing we should look at is the age. Okay, who between Sri Nammarvar and Sri Madhurakavi AzhvAr, who was the younger, who was the older? Well, the Acharyan was the younger. Sri Nammarvar was the younger of the two. So again, you see that there was no ego there. So Madhurakavi didn't say, oh, I'm much older than my Acharyan, therefore I cannot be his Shishya. He didn't say that. So he gladly accepted Sri Nammarvar as his Acharyan. So in that sense, Sri Vaishnavism transcends the boundary of age. It transcends the boundary of Varnam as well. So, a lot of people talk negatively about the Varnams, but keep in mind that in true Vaishnavism, the Varnas there's no hierarchy among the Varnas, okay? And then, so that again is illustrated by the wonderful relationship between madhurakavi AzhvAr and Sri AzhvAr. And then this padiyam is a quintessential example of Acharya Nishtai. Acharya Nishtai is depending entirely on the Acharyan. And madhurakavi AzhvAr takes that extra step of constantly saying, you know, if I have to do a comparison between Empirman and my Acharyan, Empirman stands no chance at all, okay? So that always puts the commentators or Vyakhyana Kathas in an interesting position of having to explain madhurakavi AzhvAr. You almost feel them squirming as they try to explain what exactly madhurakavi AzhvAr is saying. But this is a quintessential example of Acharya Nishtai. Like I said, in Prapatti, there are 4 different ways of doing Prapatti. And so there are 4 different Nishtais, that is how you do Prapatti. So one of them is called Swanishtai, another is Ukti Nishtai, third one is Acharya Nishtai, of which madhurakavi AzhvAr is a wonderful example. And then the 4th one is Bhagavata Nishtai. Well, what do these things mean? Swanishtai means, okay, what does Swa mean? Swa means self. You know, for example, when you hear the word Swayamvaram, what is Swayamvaram? Swayamvaram is a self-choice of a groom by a girl. Okay? So that is Swayamvaram. So Swa means self. So Swanishtai, what is Swanishtai? So in Swanishtai, the people make the Prapatti directly to Empirman. Now, what is the problem there? Well, only people with great knowledge can do that. So in that sense, none of us would fit that bill. So in that sense, Swanishtai, you know, Swanishtai is for very famous acharyas, you know, maybe a Tirukachinambi, you know, Bhagavat Ramanuja, Swami Deshikan, etc. So it's for great people like that. They can do a Swanishtai themselves. So that's one of the 4 ways of doing Prapatti. You don't depend on somebody else. You are capable of doing that representation directly to Empirman on your behalf. So that is Swanishtai. So that's not accessible to most of us. Ukti Nishtai is a second kind of Nishtai. So here, this is also a form of Prapatti, but this is an Acharyan assisted Prapatti that the Chetana or the Bhagavata will do. So Ukti really means to utter or to pronounce. So what does this mean? So in Ukti Nishtai, the Chetana or the Shishya pronounces the mantras that are told to him by the Acharyan. So you pronouncing the Prapatti Vakyam recited by the Acharyan. So in that sense, the Acharyan assists, but still the words come from the mouth of the Chetana, from the mouth of the one who is surrendering. Okay, so that is assisted, Acharyan assisted Nishtai of Prapatti, and that is called Ukti Nishtai. And this is commonly done today. And the third one is Acharya Nishtai. So in Acharya Nishtai, the Chetana does nothing at all. So the Jivatma who is surrendering does absolutely nothing. He doesn't talk directly to Empirman. So his dealings are entirely with his Acharyan. And so his Prapatti is included in the Prapatti made by the Acharyan. So that is the kind of Nishtai that is exemplified by Sri Madhurakavi AzhvAr. So in Acharya Nishtai, remember, the Chetana has no direct dealings with Empirman at all. He doesn't even utter or pronounce the Vakyam, the Prapatti Vakyam that the Acharyan might have for him. The Acharyan does everything. So that is Acharya Nishtai. And the Bhagavata Nishtai, so the Bhagavata Nishtai is there's no Acharyan involved. Instead, the Chetana will go to essentially another Bhagavata, and that Bhagavata, so the Chetana's Prapatti is included in the Prapatti of a great Bhagavata who is not an Acharya. Okay, so for most of us though, the Ukti Nishtai is, and perhaps the Acharya Nishtai, though those are the ones that we should probably be looking into. Okay, so anyway, so this Padiyam is a quintessential example of Acharya Nishtai. Now, even in the introductory part, I already talked about the greatness of Acharya Nishtai. And so for one of the examples that I gave was this one here, Chakshur Gamyam Gurum Tyaktva, Chakshur Gamyam Gurum Tyaktva. What does it mean? Chakshur Gamyam, Chakshur Pratyakshamaga Guru Oruvar un kaNNinuN irukkum பொழுது Tyaktva means abandoning him, rejecting him. So when the Guru is appearing in front of your eyes as the obvious means to his salvation, if you reject him, then you go to the Shastras. So the Shastra Gamyam Tuyasmaret. Shastra Gamyam Tuyasmaret means instead thinking of the God who is known only through the Shastra. So this is the meaning. He who abandons the Acharyan, who is right in front of his eyes. So the Acharyan is right in front of your eyes. You can use him as the means to your salvation. Instead, if you abandon him and you think of the God who is known only through the Shastras, then you're not doing the right thing, because there's a beautiful analogy here. And it says it is doing that is kind of like the following. He who abandons the water in his hands, kaila or guja irukku, gujala jalam irukku, unakku daham irukku, what would you do? Would you not open the guja and just drink the water from the guja? And instead, would you look up at the sky and look at some dark cloud that's way over there, and you hope and pray that that dark cloud will somehow rain on you so that you can look up to the sky and with your mouth open? Is that what you would do, rather than opening that guja and drinking the water from there? That's exactly what someone is doing when he abandons the Acharyan who is right in front of his eyes and thinks of other ways of achieving salvation. Okay, so in fact, Tirumangayarvar in the Siriya Tirumadal uses another analogy to say how you are using the wrong choice. So if you are a hunter, if you are a hunter and you see a chubby little rabbit on the ground, and you are a hunter and you are hungry, so you want you want to hunt an animal so you can eat. Would you rather go after that rabbit, that chubby rabbit, or would you look up in the sky and see a crow that is flying and try to go after that crow? Well, on two grounds, going after the crow would not make sense. First of all, the crow meat is not good. And then, first of all, the crow is a small thing compared to this chubby rabbit anyway. And secondly, it's flying up in the air. It's not a stationary target for you to shoot at, right? So on both counts, that rabbit, that chubby rabbit, is a better target for you to aim your arrow at. And that's what he says in Tirumangayarvar says, who would want to go after that kakai, leaving that muel behind? And that's exactly what you will be doing if you abandon the Acharyan who is right in front of your eyes, and then go and look at all these shastras as a way of achieving salvation. Okay, so there is a lot in the literature about Acharya Nishtai. I've already talked about the Vibhishana's, the cohorts who surrendered with him. And we also talked about Shabari Moksham also from Ramayana. And the Acharya Nishtai comes up multiple times in this particular Padigam. So he says, for example, Appanil Nannit Tenguruhur Nambi Endrakal, Acharyanuடைய பேரை ஒரு தரம் சொன்னாலே அன்னிக்கும் தித்திக்கும், he says. So it tastes so sweet in my tongue. Amadu urum, so the nectar wells up in my tongue. En navukke annikkum amadu urum en navukke, all from just saying my Acharyan's name. And then he goes on to say, Devumatru ariyen, apart from my Acharyan, I don't know of any other Devan or God. I don't know of any other God. Who is this Emperuman? So that's essentially the tone that Madhurakavi AzhvAr adopts in this Padigam. Annayai, Attanai, Annai Andidum, Tanmayan. You know what? My Acharyan, Avardhan Ennuடைய Annai. He is my mother. Avardhan Ennuடைய Tandai. He is my Attan, etc. Now, so that's what he says about Sri Namarva. Now, you remember the one of the Poduttaniyans that we recite, which is essentially a salutation to Sri Namarva. So that one talks about Mata, Pita, Yuvatayas, Tanaya, Vibhuti, Sarvam Yadeva Niyamena Madanvayanam. So also that actually came out of this particular pasuram, because remember that Madhurakavi had already composed this verse long before the Poduttaniyans came about. So the Poduttaniyan, which says Mata, Pita, Yuvatayas, Tanaya, Vibhuti, Sarvam Yadeva Niyamena Madanvayanam. So it goes on to say that is specifically about Namarva. It says that he is my Mata, he is my mother, he is my Pita, he is my father. Yuvatayas, he is my partner, wife, if you will. Tanaya, this is like my children. Vibhuti is like my wealth. Sarvam Yadeva is everything else. So that's that Annayai, Attanai, that gave rise to that particular Puduttaniyan. It's almost like that slokam that Bhagavat Ramanujar has in his Sharanagati Gatyam. Tvameva Matacha Pita Tvameva, Tvameva Bandhushya Guru Tvameva, Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva, Dravinam Tvameva, Tvameva Sarvam Mamadeva Deva. So that everything is you, my mother, my father, my bandhus, my relatives, my guru, my knowledge, my wealth, etc. Tvameva Sarvam, you are everything. So that's what he says about his Acharyan. And he's not satisfied by just keeping that treasure to himself. He says, he says, I'm not happy keeping the secret of the glory of my Acharyan to myself. I'm going to proclaim so that the whole world gets to know about it. People in all the 8 directions should get to know about the glory of this Acharyan because he's so great. Okay, it says here, so he's saying here that the mercy of my Acharyan, that is the most supreme mercy. I gave a beautiful interpretation, Vyakhyanam, from Uttamur Swamigal for this. So it essentially says here that the mercy of Sri Nammarwar is greater than the mercy of Bhagavan Krishna from Bhagavad Gita, is greater than the mercy of Sri Rama from Ramayana. See, remember that Thiruvaimuri talks a great deal about this margam of Prapatti. This Prapatti margam is supposed to be the simplest margam that is available to us, much, much better than the so-called Bhakti margam. And so Thiruvaimuri is all about the Prapatti margam. You know, it's right from beginning to end, it's about the Prapatti margam, right? But it's not the first one to talk about the Prapatti margam. Even Bhagavad Gita talks about it, the famous Charama Slokam that we recite at the end of every class. Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam raja aham tva sarva papebhyo moksha ishyami masuchaha. So that one is certainly in Bhagavad Gita. It is about Prapatti. But Bhagavad Gita as a whole devotes a very tiny portion of its verses to the Prapatti margam, right? So it's all about all the other margams that are available, like Jnana margam, Bhakti margam, etc. So in that sense, if you look at Bhagavad Gita, you won't find the Prapatti margam elaborated in chapter after chapter, etc. It's almost a footnote. It's almost an afterthought. And similarly, if you look at Ramayanam also, there's another Charama Slokam where Sri Rama says, Sakrudeva Prabannaya Tavasmiti cha yachate abhayam sarva bhutebhyo dadami etat vratam mamaha. Sakrudeva Prabannaya, if someone surrenders to me eva, even once, Tavasmiti cha yachate, tava asmi, I am yours. If he says that even once and seeks my refuge, Abhayam sarva bhutebhyo dadami. Dadami, I will give abhayam, I will give him abhayam, that is a guarantee of his safety. Sarva bhutebhyo, from all the beings on this earth. Yetat vratam mama. He goes on to say, this is my vratam, this is my vow, this is my sacred promise to all. Now, so certainly that is also another Charama Slokam. So you might say, well, what is so great about Thiruvaimuri? Why can't you look to Sri Ramayanam and say that Prapatti was already made very clear in Ramayanam as the most supreme way to attain Emperuman? But Uttamur Swami clearly says, well, in Ramayanam, Sri Rama was not even aware that he was an incarnation of Vishnu. That's what he says in the Yuddha Kanda after he has killed Sri Ravana, and when Sita is about to enter the Agni, he says, I don't know who I am. I don't think I am anything other than a human being. Okay, so you wonder whether that Charma Slokam in Sri Ramayana, whether that was said by Sri Rama just as a human being or as an incarnation of the Emperuman, right? So in that sense, you could argue, well, maybe that's not really the word of Emperuman. It's just the word of Rama, the human being, right? So the Uttamur Swamigal clearly says, well, these are the reasons why, the Bhagavad Gita, the Ramayana, etc., they don't proclaim the Prapatti Margam as loudly as Thiruvaimuri does. And that's the reason that Madhurakavi AzhvAr says, Arulgandiri Ulaginil Mikkade, that the mercy shown by Sri Nammarvar through Thiruvaimuri, that is the most supreme mercy, because nobody else pointed out the Prapatti put it in such bold letters as Sri Nammarvar did. Okay, and then he goes on to say, Payanandragilum, Pangalaragilum, Sayalnandraga Tirithipani Gurvan. So whether he gets any use out of it or not, and whether the Sishyas are qualified or not, Pangalaragilum, he accepts them as his Sishyas and he works on them until they are reformed. Sayalnandraga Tirithipani Gurvan. And then finally he says, I owe so much to my Acharyan. I keep trying to match his glory with my love, and I'm not succeeding, but I will keep trying. So that's the beauty of this pasuram, and that is of this padiyam, and that is the uniqueness of this padiyam. So I hope you realize it every time you chant this padiyam. You will not find any other padiyam which is similar to this anywhere in the Nalayana Divya Prabandhams. Okay, so may we too take shelter in the shade of our Acharyan, using the path that Sri Madhurakavi AzhvAr has highlighted for us. And so Sri Madhurakavi AzhvAr Thiruvadigale Sharanam. So what I'm going to do is, now I think we should go back and recite the whole padiyam, starting from pasuram number 1. So I'm going to slide number 14. Okay, let me go and find the slide number 14. Okay, so let's chant this whole padiyam. Just remember that the first pasuram, 10th and 11th pasurams are repeated, and then we will come back and finish with the pasuram number 1. Okay, so let's do it together. Keeping yourself muted, go ahead and chant along with me. We have already chanted the kaNNinuN, so I'm not going to chant that. Okay. kaNNinuN siruttAmbinal kattunna panniya perumayan ennappanil nannittan gurugur nambi enrakkav annikkum amudurum ennavukke kaNNinuN siruttAmbinal kattunna panniya perumayan ennappanil nannittan gurugur nambi enrakkav annikkum amudurum ennavukke நாவினால் நவிற்று இன்பமெய்தினேன் மேவினேன் அவன் பொன்னடிமைமையே தேவுமற்றறியேன் குருகூர் நம்பி பாவின் இன்னிசை பாடித் திரிவனே தெரிதந்தாகிலும் தேவபிரானுடை கரியகோல திருவுருக்காண்பன் நான் பெரியவன் குருகூர் நகர் நம்பிக்காளுரியனாய் அடியேன் பெற்ற நன்மையே நன்மையால் மிக்க நான்மறையாளர்கள் உண்மையாக கருதுவராதலில் அன்னையாயத்தனாய் என்னை ஆண்டிடும் தன்மையான் சடகோபன் என் நம்பியே நம்பினேன் பிறர் நன்பொருள் தன்னையும் நம்பினேன் மடவாரையும் முன்னலாம் செம்பொன்மாட திருக்குருகூர் நம்பிக்கு அன்பனாய் அடியேன் சதிர்த்தே நின்றே இன்று தொட்டும் எழுமையும் எம்பிரான் நின்றுதன் புகழ் ஏத்த அருளினான் குன்றமாட திருக்குருகூர் நம்பி என்றும் என்னை இகழ்விலன்காண்மினே கண்டு கொண்டென்னை காரிமாறப்பிரான் பண்டை வல்வினை பாற்றி அருளினான் எண்திசையும் அரியை எம்புகேன் ஒந்தமிழ் சடகோபன் அருளையே அருள் கொண்டாடும் அடியவர் என்புற அருளினான் அருமறையின் பொருள் அருள் கொண்டு ஆயிரம் இந்தமிழ் பாடினான் அருள் கண்டீர் இவ்வுலகினில் மிக்கதே மிக்க வேதியர் வேதத்தின் உட்பொருள் நிற்கப்பாடி என் நெஞ்சுள் நிறுத்தினான் தக்க சீர் சடகோபன் என் நம்பிக்கு ஆழ்புக்ககாதல் அடிமை பயனன்றே பயனன்றாகிலும் பாங்கல்லராகிலும் செயல் நன்றாக திருத்திப் பணிகொள்வான் குயில் நின்றார் பொழில் சூழ் குருகூர் நம்பி முயல்கின்றேன் உந்தன் மொய்கழற்கன்பையே பயனன்றாகிலும் பாங்கல்லராகிலும் செயல் நன்றாக திருத்திப் பணிகொள்வான் குயில் நின்றார் பொழில் சூழ் குருகூர் நம்பி முயல்கின்றேன் உந்தன் மொய்கழற்கன்பையே அன்பந்தன்னை அடைந்தவர்கட்கெல்லாம் அன்பன் தென்குருகூர் நகர் நம்பிக்கு அன்பனாய் மதுரகவி சொன்ன சொல் நம்புவார்பதி வைகுந்தம் காண்மினே அன்பந்தன்னை அடைந்தவர்கட்கெல்லாம் அன்பன் தென்குருகூர் நகர் நம்பிக்கு அன்பனாய் மதுரகவி சொன்ன சொல் நம்புவார்பதி வைகுந்தம் காண்மினே கண்ணினுன் சிறுத்தாம்பினால் கட்டுண்ண பண்ணிய பெருமாயன் என்னப்பனில் நன்னித்தென் குருகூர் நம்பி என்ற கால் அன்னிக்கும் அமுதூரும் என்னாவுக்கே. So Sri Madhurakavi AzhvAr Tiruvadigalai Sharanam. So we will finish with this Charma Slokam when we get to that particular slide. Okay, Charma Slokam and Mangalam. Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam raja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami ma shuchah mangalam kosalendraya mahaniya gunabhaye chakravarti tanujaya sarvabhaumaya mangalam. Okay, Sarvam Krishnarpanamastu. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop this recording